Hi, I'm Danielle. Welcome to my perfume journal. I'm really excited to make this video because every year I go back through all of the perfumes I added to my collection that year and I select my perfume of the year. And last year I turned this into a project on my Instagram page, kind of like March Madness style. And it was so much fun that I decided to do it again this year on my YouTube channel. So I hope you will join in on the fun with me and help me pick my perfume of the year. So here's how it works. We are going to start out with the Sweet 16. The perfumes you see on the tray in front of you are the 16 perfumes that I added to my collection this year that I wore the most. I did include 2 perfumes that I received at the very tail end of 2024 as Christmas gifts because I wore them a ton. And if I didn't include them, none of the perfumes that I receive as Christmas gifts would ever really be contenders for perfume of the year. And often those perfumes are some of my most special. And since this is just for fun, we do not have to stick to rigid rules. We will make the rules. So what I've done is I've written the name of each perfume on a scent strip. And as I make this video, I will select a pair of perfumes at random to go up against each other. I will talk about each perfume, so even if you haven't smelled it, you can still play along. This is just for fun. There's absolutely nothing serious about this. And then in the description box below, I will put a link to a Google form where you can vote for the perfume that you think should move on to the next round. And every few days, I will look at the votes and I will put them into the brackets that you see on the screen right now to pair the perfumes up against each other. We will narrow these 16 down to 8 and then 8 down to the final 4. Then we will have a top 2. And then we will be able to vote on the perfume that will be my perfume of the year for 2025. So last year, the top 2 contenders for perfume of the year were Stash from Sarah Jessica Parker and Violet Ida from Miller Harris, 2 perfumes that I talk about a lot on this channel. They are also now in my top 10 perfumes for life. The perfume that ended up taking the crown was Stash. All right, so let's get started with our first pairing. Okay, so the first 2 scent strips have been plucked out of the cup, and we have Eau Mohéli from Diptyque up against Embrace French Lavender and Tuberose from Vera Wang. So already I can tell it's going to be very difficult to choose who moves on to round 2 in this game. Okay, so we'll start with Eau Mohéli. This was a perfume that I had on my wish list for ages. I finally put aside a little bit of like my declutter money this year, and I picked up this bottle, and I'm so happy that I did. This is a very fresh, bright green floral perfume. It is ylang ylang, ginger, pink pepper, and vetiver. What I mostly get from this perfume is the ginger. It's very bright, it's very sunny. I love to wear this perfume on a breezy day. It just kind of wafts this beautiful combination of that buttery ylang ylang and that bright zingy ginger. You just get a little teeny tiny bit of the pink pepper and the vetiver, but mostly this is all about the beautiful ylang ylang accented by the ginger. It is one of my favorite late spring, summer perfumes. It is pure happiness. And then we have a perfume that I was absolutely obsessed with from the moment I received it from the wonderful, beautiful, spectacular Cass at Skin Sense for Fuss Pots. She and I met up and had a wonderful afternoon of chit chat and coffee and sweets and perfume sniffing. It is definitely one of my favorite memories from 2025. And from that wonderful encounter, I walked away with this bottle of French Lavender and Tuberose as a gift from her. And it was an instant love. This is Mandarin Orange, French Lavender, Tuberose, Vanilla, and Cocoa Bean. And I would say that this is the perfume that made me love lavender. I knew from watching Cass's videos that she loved lavender, and she selected this perfume because she thought that I would enjoy it, and she was 100% right. It definitely has that lovely, bright mandarin orange citrusy opening, and then you have the calming elements of the lavender. It's a very soft, gentle lavender. It's not spiky. It's not too harsh. It's not like some lavenders can be. And then you have this beautiful creaminess from the tuberose, the vanilla, and the cocoa bean, all kind of like swirling together. This quickly became one of my favorite bedtime scents. I blew through one bottle and then I got a second bottle in a swap from my wonderful friend Allie, another perfume pal who I had a meetup with this year. So Vera Wang, Embrace French Lavender, and Tuberose is that wonderful combination of clean soapy and sweet creamy that many Flormans can give you. And it is absolutely beautiful, definitely an affordable gem. Okay, moving on to our second pairing, we have Shalimar L'Essence up against a Diptyque. Okay, let's start with Shalimar L'Essence. So Shalimar L'Essence from Guerlain came out just this year in 2025 for the 100th anniversary of Shalimar, probably the most classic perfume in history next to Chanel No. 5. So the original Shalimar has the classic Guerlainade recipe of bergamot, iris, jasmine, rose, vanilla, and tonka. It's very balsamic, it's very smoky, it's a little bit leathery, it's spicy, it's powdery. Again, it's a classic and it's absolutely beautiful. Now for me, the original Shalimar has always been just a little teeny tiny bit too leathery for my personal taste. I still love the way that it smells, but it just has never really been a perfume that works for me to wear. But Shalimar L'Essence is a completely different story. So what they've done in Shalimar L'Essence for the 100th anniversary is really doubled down on the vanilla. So the original Shalimar has always had this ethyl vanillin in it, but in Shalimar L'Essence, Delphine Jelk has added a very healthy dose of bourbon vanilla. And it is rich and creamy and sweet. It still retains that ambery, balsamic, powdery, even that smokiness. The more I've been wearing this perfume, the more the smokiness comes out to me. But the addition of the bourbon vanilla just really sweetens everything up. It makes it a lot more creamy and less leathery. It still retains that Shalimar signature kind of scent that you immediately recognize. I think it's beautiful. So that is Shalimar L'Essence from Guerlain. And competing with Shalimar L'Essence is the classic A Drop Dissy from Issey Miyake in one of my favorite bottles in all of perfume history. It literally looks like a dewdrop. And there is so much about this perfume that also smells like a dewdrop. So the hero note of A Drop Dissy is lilac, and it's combined with almond milk, damask rose, orange blossom, jasmine, a little teeny tiny bit of star anise. There's ambroxan, musk, cedar, and vanilla. And what you get from this perfume is that wonderful combination, again, just like French lavender and tuberose, that sort of creamy bar soap kind of a scent. But again, with this, it's really about the lilac. There is a little something synthetic about this, something sort of plasticky that I personally love in a perfume. I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I love like a little bit of a synthetic plasticky note, which this definitely has. This is one of the most perfect perfumes to wear in springtime, in May when the lilacs are actually in bloom, and it is stunning. So that's A Drop Dissy from Issey Miyake. Okay, so now we have two more recent additions to my collection coming up against each other. Luminous from La Perla up against Musc Noir Rose from Narciso Rodriguez. This is going to be a tough one. Okay, so Luminous is a perfume that I discovered from the wonderful Wendy at Wendy's Parade of Perfumes. You all know that she's one of my favorite perfume YouTubers out there. She's super real, super authentic. I've gotten so many great recommendations from her channel, and I just love listening to her talk about perfumes. So Luminous is a very, very simple scent profile. It's ambrette, jasmine sambac, and Virginia cedar. And to say that I was immediately obsessed with this perfume is like an understatement. So this perfume is like a clean, crisp, white shirt kind of a scent. They could not have picked a more perfect name for this perfume because it truly does smell luminous. It smells light and shimmering and lightly floral and very clean, a little bit creamy, a little teeny tiny bit woody, a little bit sweet. It even has like a little bit of citrus in it. There's no citrus listed, but there has to be like some kind of maybe mandarin orange or citrusy note at the top. It is one of the most perfect everyday scents that I've ever smelled. I can't think of a single solitary person who wouldn't like smelling this perfume, either on themselves or on someone else. It is smooth, it is never sharp or edgy or scratchy. And I'm so grateful to Wendy for recommending it to me. And I'm so grateful to myself for blind buying it. Something I don't usually do at this price point. I think I paid like maybe around $70 for this. And I usually have a limit that I don't blind buy anything over $50. But I took a chance on this because Wendy recommended it and I knew she wouldn't steer me wrong. And she didn't. I absolutely adore Luminous. And then we have Musc Noir Rose, which I just got like less than a month ago. And you can see by the dent how much I have been wearing this perfume. This went viral, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. My memory is terrible. So maybe it was just last year. I don't really know. But I remember seeing like a ton of hype about this perfume on social media. I remember there was like a video floating around online of like somebody walking through the streets of Paris and stopping a girl who smelled so amazing and asking her what she was wearing. And she said it was Musc Noir Rose. And then the video went viral. And so everybody had to go out and buy Musc Noir Rose. And normally when something is that hyped, I immediately turn on like my skepticism switch. But in this case, I kept an open mind and I was in an airport and I was like, let me see what all of this hype is about. And I smelled this perfume and I was like, yep, I get it. This is beautiful. This perfume is bergamot, pink pepper in the opening, and then plum, tuberose, and the Narciso musk in the mid. And then the base is vanilla, patchouli, and suede. I don't get a lot of patchouli from this perfume at all. I definitely get that sueded vanilla kind of base. But to me, this is really about the plum, the tuberose, and the musk, which this is called Musc Noir Rose. There is no rose note listed in this perfume. The plum and the tuberose together create this delicious rosy accord that is utterly addictive. And then you throw a whole bunch of that Narciso musk in there, and it's just spectacular. I have been wearing this perfume almost every day in the month of November and into December. I probably should have gotten the bigger bottle because I'm blowing through it, but for good reason. It's just a super pretty perfume. It's the kind of perfume that's just easy to reach for every single day. So that's Musc Noir Rose from Narciso Rodriguez. I'm so excited to see what you guys vote for in this video. Okay, so this is Narciso Poudrée from Narciso Rodriguez up against Mon Guerlain EDT. So we'll start with Narciso Poudrée. This is one of those late 2024 perfumes that I received for Christmas last year, and I wore this perfume a ton in 2025. So this perfume is jasmine, Bulgarian rose, musk, black cedar, vetiver, and white cedar. So obviously this is a very powdery, very floral, very creamy, very musky perfume. This perfume feels like you have completely wrapped yourself up in a blush colored cashmere blanket. It is plush and pillowy. It is like a beautiful musky cloud. And if you have ever smelled the musk in these Narciso cubes, you know that it's a very specific kind of musk. It isn't animalic, like it's not a dark, heavy kind of a musk, but it's also not like a light white musk either. It's kind of in the middle because it does have like a viscousness to it. It's really more of like a milky musk. And I think it's beautiful. It's not a musk that works for everyone, but I think this entire cube line is fantastic. The musk in this perfume lasts forever on skin and on clothes. So this is a very Narciso take on the classic floral woody musk profile. And then we have Mon Guerlain in the EDT formulation from Guerlain. So this is a bottle that I got in a swap from my wonderful friend Jill. Jill and I have really connected this year over our love of perfumes. We're also both at similar stages of our life, so she feels like a perfume soul sister to me. So hi Jill, thank you for swapping this bottle with me. So Mon Guerlain is a perfume that I've heard many people rave about, But it's one of those perfumes that I sort of like would spritz on at a department store when I was, out shopping and sniffing and think, yeah, that is really, really pretty. But I just never added it to my collection. And that was a big, huge mistake because this is so unbelievably beautiful. This is a perfume that I could easily wear every single day for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. The notes in the EDT are bergamot, mandarin orange, pear, jasmine sambac, lavender, neroli, iris, sandalwood, and vanilla. And really nobody does vanilla like Guerlain. So this is very much a lavender vanilla with that gorgeous creamy sandalwood, the powdery iris, the sweetness of the pear, and then just a touch of the white florals, never taking this perfume into like total white floral territory, but giving it that clean soapiness under the surface that just makes this perfume feel super duper classy. It's a little bit sweet, it's a little bit woody, it's a little bit fresh, it's definitely creamy. And this is a perfume that I would say is extremely, extremely perfumey. And I did a whole video earlier this year when I first started my channel on perfumey perfumes. And some perfumes just have that like perfumey quality to them. It's kind of hard to describe, but it sort of has that smell that you get when you walk into a department store and everybody's been spraying like 10,000 atomizers into the air at once. Some perfumes just kind of have that quality to them, and Mon Guerlain definitely has that quality, and I love that quality in a perfume. I grew up on super perfumey perfumes my whole entire life in the 70s and 80s. All perfumes were really, really perfumey. So that's a quality that I really love in a perfume. So Mon Guerlain sort of fits into that category for me. I think it's one of the most beautiful classic perfumes ever made, and super happy that it joined my collection in 2025. Oh my gosh, the next pairing are two super affordable celebrity gems in cute little 30 ml bottle sizes. Okay, so on the left is Lovely Lights from Sarah Jessica Parker, and on the right is Solstice Bloom from Jennifer Aniston. So we'll start with Lovely Lights. So this was another gift from the wonderful Cass. And this is another perfume that was love at first sniff, and I completely drained this bottle. So Lovely Lights is honeysuckle, mandarin orange, neroli, cashmeran, gardenia, jasmine, amber, musk, and sandalwood. This is another perfume that fits into that sweet, creamy, bar soapy kind of category for me. The main floral that I get from this is not the gardenia and the jasmine, which are in the mid, but the honeysuckle, which is in the top. It is so pretty in this perfume. And then combined with the creaminess of the sandalwood, the soapiness of the white florals, the citrusiness of the mandarin orange, and then that soft vanilla ambery base. This is really just a springy, happy, creamy floral, and it's beautiful. And then we have Solstice Bloom. That was a blind buy that I picked up on the recommendation of my beautiful friend Victoria, who is Sent Memos on Instagram. She is one of my go-to people for affordable gems, and she has never, ever steered me wrong. And this is a great example of one of those times. So Solstice Bloom is an air accord, smoke bush, white pepper, gardenia, jasmine, sand, amber, sandalwood, and white musk. And to me, what this perfume really smells like is warm sand with a light breeze. It's like sunset on a New England beach. I wore this perfume to bed so often this summer because it was absolutely perfect for that time of year. It's cozy and comforting, but also it has that summery vibe to it because it does smell like warm sand. And so this became one of my favorite affordable gems for 2025. Okay, so the next pairing is Melograno from Santa Maria Novella up against Pure Poison from Christian Dior. So both of these perfumes were on my wish list for the longest time, and I splurged on both of them this year. So here they are up against each other. We'll start with Melograno. So essentially Melograno is a floral chypre. It is bergamot, bitter orange and spices, ylang ylang, pomegranate and rose, oak moss, musk, labdanum, and patchouli. So when you first spray this perfume on, it is incredibly, incredibly soapy. It smells like a very, very expensive bar of finely milled white soap. And as it dries down, the spiciness comes out, the mossiness comes out. You get a lot of powderiness from the labdanum and the musk in the base. You get a little teeny tiny bit of woodiness, and it becomes more and more creamy as you wear it. But it never ever loses the clean, soapy quality that is really the essence of Melograno. This smells very, I don't want to use the word old-fashioned because it doesn't smell old-fashioned, but it smells traditional. It smells like something that is steeped in like the tradition of artisan soap making. It's been around for decades. It is completely unisex, and I think it's beautiful. And then speaking of soapy white florals, we have Pure Poison from Dior. So Pure Poison is jasmine, bergamot, mandarin orange, gardenia, neroli, white amber, sandalwood, and cedar. And this definitely is a crisp, clean, citrusy, white floral musk. You really have to love white florals to love this perfume. The gardenia, the neroli, the jasmine are beautifully blended, but there is no mistaking the presence of all three of those florals in this perfume. Pure Poison is a timeless classic. And I have the current formulation of Pure Poison. I'm perfectly okay with the formulation that I have. I still think it's really beautiful. I would love to have the original formulation, or even better, the Pure Poison Elixir. That is a perfume I would love to add to my collection one day, but until then, I will be extremely happy with this beautiful bottle of Pure Poison. Okay, for our next pairing, we could not have two more polar opposite kinds of perfumes. First, we have an affordable celebrity gem, and then we have a very unusual niche perfume. So we have Lovely You from Sarah Jessica Parker and Nightingale from Zoologist. So Lovely You is an airy floral musk. It is plum blossom, water lily, and freesia, jasmine, orange blossom, and peony, benzoin, musk, and vanilla orchid. So normally I don't love peony in a perfume, but I think this one is really nicely blended with the orange blossom, the plum blossom, and the freesia, and then the musk and the vanilla orchid give it all just like a light, airy kind of a quality. It's powdery. It's almost a little bit like translucent in texture. It's not heavy at all. It's a very easy reach. It really doesn't last a very long time, but it's one that I really don't mind respraying and reapplying throughout the day. So this is Lovely You from Sarah Jessica Parker. And then we have Nightingale from Zoologist. So this is a perfume that was on my wish list for ages and ages. It was my first perfume purchase for 2025. So this is essentially a floral chypre. It does smell very, very, very vintage. It is bergamot, lemon, and saffron, red rose, plum blossom, violet, musk, moss, ambergris, labdanum, oud, patchouli, sandalwood, and frankincense. So this perfume is definitely for the vintage floral chypre lovers. And the star note in this is that gorgeous pink plum blossom. It's right there front and center in the color of the liquid. Because of the rose and violet and the plum blossom, this opens up very lipsticky. It doesn't have the waxy quality that some lipsticky scents can have, but it definitely has that powdery, vintage cosmetic lipsticky kind of quality. And then as it dries down, the muskiness, the mossiness, the woodiness comes out more and more. There's a little touch of incense in this. You get a little bit of that like sharp brightness that a frankincense can add to a perfume. I think this is an outstanding example of a beautiful modern floral chypre. Okay, so we have our final pairing for round one of the Perfume of the Year competition, and it is Pamplelune from Guerlain up against L'Interdit Rouge from Givenchy. Two totally polar opposite perfumes. Pamplelune is from the Aqua Allegoria line, and it is a grapefruit perfume. It is grapefruit, bergamot, blackcurrant, neroli, petitgrain, vanilla, and patchouli. And it is bright and zingy and fresh and citrusy and green. You really get the pungent tartness of the grapefruit. It really is almost like the pith, but then the blackcurrant and the vanilla add a little bit of sweetness to it. So I really would not call this a freshie at all, even though the grapefruit is the hero note. This is really more of a fruity, woody floral because of that vanilla and patchouli in the base. It adds a depth and a heft to this perfume that is a little bit unexpected without losing the brightness and the freshness. And that is something that I think that the Aqua Allegoria line does really well. So many of the perfumes in that line are fresh and bright, but they also have enough heft and weight to them that they aren't fleeting. So Pamplelune was one of my favorite summer scents this year, and also one that I bought secondhand at a super, super duper good deal. So that made it extra great. And how appropriate to end with the perfume that I got at the very tail end of 2024, the perfume that I have told the story numerous times, almost got me kicked out of family Christmas, Rouge from Givenchy. So this is pimento leaf, blood orange, ginger, tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, sandalwood, and patchouli. This is one of the loudest, biggest, spicy florals I have ever smelled. This is like, we're talking 80s territory. And I should have known better when I put 12 sprays of this all over myself, because I absolutely choked out every single person in the room, and I was made to go upstairs and change clothes. But if you go lightly with this scent, you really do get that beautiful spiciness from the ginger and the pimento leaf, the citrusy blood orange, and then all of those gorgeous, thick, heady white florals and that creamy sandalwood. But you have to like patchouli. You have to get along with patchouli to get along with this perfume, even in small doses, because the patchouli is extremely overwhelming. The patchouli is definitely the thing that made everybody say, get out of here and go change. It's a lot. It's a lot. What I learned after putting this perfume on indoors is that this is a perfume that is spectacular outside. Like if it's a cold winter day and I'm going outside for a walk, this is something I love to spray, like one spray on a scarf, and it is just incredible in cold weather outdoors. So Pamplelune and Rouge bring round one of the Sweet 16 of our Perfume of the Year competition to a close. So there we have it, round one of the Sweet 16 perfumes that are up for consideration for 2025 Perfume of the Year. And once again, I will be putting a link to a Google form in the description box below that has all of the pairings. So if you are up for a game, you can go in and you can vote for the perfume that you think should move on to round two, which I will post in a few days. This project is always so much fun. So thank you so much for watching, for spending your time here with me, and for chatting perfumes with me in the comments, and hopefully for voting on the perfumes that you think should move on to round two in my very unserious Perfume of the Year competition. I hope you have a really great day. I will see you in a few days with round two of the next video. Bye.